Hey Reefers, welcome back to the channel. This is the September 2024 update. So we're going to be shooting a different type of video here where it's just basically a top-down view of the tank. First of all, I want to say it's not that easy for me to do a top-down view of this tank. One being that the tank is 36 inches tall and has a lot of Euro bracing on the tank, plus the lighting system pretty much gets in the way. I'll put a picture up right here for you guys to see so you can understand that it's like not easy for me to do a top-down view at all. So for me to record this video, I used a flipper box. You know, it's one of those boxes that they have at the local fish store for you to get a top-down view of the corals. And I put my phone inside the box over some Reef glasses I got from Reef stock. Wish I could see more top-down views of my tank, but it's not possible unless I, get a step ladder and look down it. And, usually I probably get a top-down view like maybe once a month. It pretty much kills my back standing on a ladder, leaning over, trying to get underneath the lights and stuff just to get a view. So I try not to do it as much. I do want to apologize for quality of the video. I know some blurry parts and some dark parts, but I am learning. This is the first time I'm making a video like this, and as time goes on, I'll get better at producing better quality videos for you guys. But anyways, let's get to the tank update. So far, nothing major is going on. I did remove some, medium to large size colonies of bird's nests, milka stylo, green stylos out of the tank, just to make room for other corals in its place. I do have a lot of those already here in the tank, so it doesn't make sense to have so much of it. So basically I just pulled them out and put them into my predator tank. We are getting a lot of nice coral growth in a lot of the colonies here. I mean, getting to the point where it's coral warfare, but most of the corals I just leave it, let it do its thing, grow into each other, and let them duke it out and see what happens. But a majority of the other corals, where it's small enough, I just break it off the rock because it's still on a frag plug, and just glue it an inch away from the other corals, just giving it some room and space to grow out even more. So all the fishes in the tank here are doing well, getting big and fat, just pretty much just growing at a normal pace. Some of the fishes just gotten super huge, like the Australian stripies. They just like 3 times, 4 times their size since I got them back in February. They're as big as the tangs now and just eat everything I put in the tank. They did, however, eliminate most of the Aptasia in the tank, but I've noticed there are some popping up throughout the rock structure, and it could be one of 3 things. One being that they're too big to get to the Aptasia, or 2, they just get lazy and, don't want to go after the Aptasia anymore, because I do feed them good in this tank. And 3, maybe they just don't see it at all. I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty sure they do eat Aptasia that they can get to, because I don't see any of the Aptasia anywhere on the rock works, like out in the open water. Where I'm finding Aptasia is like in the crevices underneath like some of the corals. Yeah, so I don't know if they're still doing their job or not, but it is what it is. I mean, basically what I do is the Aptasia that I do find, I use the epoxy and super glue and just try my best to putty over them, just to try to kill them that way. Hopefully that entices the the stripies to start looking again for more Aptasia. Again, like I said, I don't see Aptasia everywhere in the tank like I did before I had the stripies. I'm just noticing them in crevices and, hard to reach places that the fishes can't get to. Oh, and if you can look right there, the screen, there's some dark spots in some of that pink millie and the Fruity Pebbles on the left hand corner there. Yeah, those is where I had some RTN going on. I'm not sure what happened, but the corals just started to bleach out and die off, and that happened, a couple weeks ago, and it stopped. But right there, you can see the dark spots right there, and Fruity Pebbles right there, and to your top right up there, it's dark as well in that pink millie. So I don't know. I mean, it could be just the colony's a little bit too big and it's not getting enough flow in there. But I mean, I have a lot of flow going on in this tank, so I don't think it's the flow. I don't know what it is, but what I've seen from other YouTubers out there with colonies saying that, they can't grow colonies too big because they tend to die off in certain areas. And I'm believing that may be happening here in my tank. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know why it RTN in certain areas. I'm just glad it didn't RTN the whole coral colony. As for flow, I do run 4 J-bow gyres. I don't run them at 100%. I think they're at 60 or 70%. That may be a lot of flow to some people, but I believe the more flow I can put into the tank without damaging the tissue, the better the corals will be. I mean, I don't think anything's wrong with having crazy flow in the tank, especially when you have an acro-dominant tank like this. It's good for the corals. It helps move the water, helps clean them off, and things like that. So my advice to anybody trying to or wanting to start doing acros, just try to get as much flow as you can without damaging the corals. The more power heads and gyres and stuff you can put into your tank, the better off you'll be, especially if you have a lot of rock structure like I do. Helps move the water, helps a lot. I mean, it's beneficial to the tank to have a lot of flow. As for dosing, I'm still dosing the same thing. Dosing Alpha Reef, Acro Power, and Kalkwasser. I also put Kalkwasser in my auto top off, so I'm trying to put as much calc as I can into the system and trying to keep it stable at 8.5. I mean, sometimes I've noticed my alkalinity's dropped to 6.5, and I'm just still learning or trying to tweak that to get it stable at 8.5. I mean, I know it's been dropping, but I don't see any effects on the corals. I mean, you can see here a lot of white tips, white teal bluish tips. Those are all new growth. At first I thought that was bleaching, but the more I looked into it, I'm like, oh, that's just coral growth. I mean, especially on certain strands of coral, they grow white, teal, and others, they're just like blue tips. Like right there, you can see that colony down there. But overall, the tank's been doing great. Haven't had any major issues in the tank. Just, doing my regular routine of water changes. Oh, and I used to do water changes every 2 weeks. Now I've changed it to every 3 weeks. I mean, I looked at the corals and they seem to be a lot happier the longer I stretch the water change. I mean, I'm not a no water change guy. I believe in water changes, and it helps replenish most of the elements and stuff that get absorbed by the coral. So I will continue to do water changes, but I've basically changed it to once every 3 weeks, and we'll see how that goes in the future. So we've come close to the end of the update. I mean, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. I'll do my best to answer them. I usually get to them pretty quick. I don't have much subscribers, so it's pretty easy for me to reach out and help anybody who needs help. Again, thanks for watching and happy reefing.
I can hear the sound, I can hear the beat. I can feel the bass, I can feel the heat. I can sing along, I can shout and scream. I can feel it taking over me. Ooh la la la, ooh la la la. Hey, hey, ooh la la la, ooh la la la. Hey, hey, ooh la la la, ooh la la la. for me.